If we're constantly waiting for our partners to go first, we might be waiting forever.
That life, by its very nature, will bring everybody the lessons they're supposed to get.
Failing myself, I'm failing our family, whatever the story is.
It reaches the stage of demonstration. They no longer need things to look a certain way.
Reality for yourself, like go first. Be the thing that you're asking your partner for.
What you're up against, because you're not up against them. You're up against the programming that they received.
All right, welcome back, family, to the Bridge to Love podcast. Today's episode is going to be us taking a Q and offering an A. So we're going to do a little question and answer session because we get this particular question all the time, not just on our social media, not just in our comments, but we have been leading people in rooms for over 15 years, and this question comes up constantly from people in relationship where one person feels like they're doing the work and they feel like their partner is just lagging behind. So the question is, what if one doesn't want to step up and put in the work? When do you call it as the only one constantly putting in the work and getting breadcrumbs back? Bum, bum, bum. So this might be relatable because so many of us get into cycles where we feel like, okay, I'm doing the work, I'm reading the books, I'm listening to the podcast, I go to my therapist or coach, but my partner over here is not stepping up. So P, what would you say to this? First, I guess maybe let's talk about why there might be some resistance from the other person.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to jump around here. We've heard this so many times. We've coached it a million times. And oftentimes there's a few things occurring. One, it's a lack of understanding about what the work is and what the work isn't.
What is the work?
A lot of times when either partner, and we've coached men, we did this
at a men's retreat.
At a men's retreat.
Yes, we did.
Where the men were like, we are all doing the work and our partners are just, sitting on the sidelines. And to that particular man, I said it's more than likely a lack of leadership on your part. But there's a lot of other moving parts and pieces. And so the first thing I want to start with is whenever somebody gets into self-development, 9 out of 10, they walk over to their high horse, get on top of their high horse,
stand on the saddle.
I have more information than you, therefore I am doing the work.
I am better.
Yes, I'm better. I'm doing the work.
Yeah.
And I want to just make the distinction of there is information, then there's transformation, and then there's demonstration. And most of personal development stays at information. It doesn't even move to them actually
transforming themselves.
They
know more, but they can't do better yet.
They know more and they weaponize what they know
I used to do that.
As a way to justify why their partner isn't good enough or whatever the case may be and why they should go get a new partner.
Yeah. Now, in case you missed it, I said, I used to do that because I want you to know that we both used to do that even before we met each other. And I think this is really important because I do think there is like the phases of getting into the work, the phases of getting into personal development or self-help or therapy. Phase 1 is like, oh my gosh, your mind is blown. You're like, oh, there's all this knowledge and I know all this stuff about my patterns. And oh my gosh, you imbeciles know nothing. and it makes us really feel like we've got the key to something.
Yes.
And we're coming from a great place, right? Yes. We're coming from the place of like, everybody should know this. Why doesn't everybody know this? And that can often create a separation of because I know this, I'm more up here. And so I think it's important to recognize that's like stage 1, self-help. And stage 2 is like, oh, I know better, but I'm not doing better yet. And how many of you know about your patterns, you know about your stuff, but yet in the heat, in the pressure, you go back to those patterns, you go back to the old stuff. It's because it's not embodied yet. And that's, a lot of the work we do at our workshops, The Bridge, is we teach people how to actually transform everything you know and apply it to the body so the body's on board. Now, stage 3, you said, is demonstration, right? Demonstration is like, I am living this. I am This is just who I am. This is just who I be. Like,
Yes.
I don't even have to think about it. It's not hard because it's so embodied. This is what I do. And I do it so often, so well, so naturally that everybody else rises to meet me there
Yes.
because that's just the standard.
And it feels effortless, and it happens in the nuances and the cracks and the crevices. When somebody reaches the stage of demonstration, they no longer need things to look a certain way.
Yeah.
Because they understand, A, that life by its very nature will bring everybody the lessons they're supposed to get. So it's not their job to make it happen. It's their job to make it welcome.
Yeah.
And then through that process, see what occurs, right? And become a divine invitation to their partner, to the barista at Starbucks, to their children, to their neighbors. But when we are stuck in the information space, we are looking from a one-up position.
Yeah.
I have information. I'm doing the work. I said sorry twice, and he didn't say it back, so therefore he's not doing the work.
Right.
Well, how many of you have ever been in an argument where somebody said, all I said was,
Right.
hello, right? You're like, bro, you didn't just say hello.
It's how you say
It's the context from which you said that
Yeah.
that created this argument. And so you can have all the right language and believe you're doing the work. And we're starting here. And there are some of you who are actually doing the work and your partners aren't receptive. And so we're going to go through what reasons why they might not be meeting you where you want them to.
Yeah. You know what? Before we do that, can I just add a stage 4 that is coming through right now? So we have information, we have transformation, we have demonstration. I think stage 4 is invitation. Like,
Church.
doesn't necessarily rhyme as well, but it's the invitation to be like, I am going to live my best me that I can as a demonstration. And that demonstration will ultimately be the invitation for people to either rise up and meet me, or I will be demonstrating so much that I'm upholding boundaries that people that do not meet those boundaries will fall away. And that's the invitation, because I know when I'm around people that are showing up in a really embodied, beautiful way, it inspires me to do better.
Facts.
Maybe it's inspiration. That rhymes. Stage 4 is inspiration.
Okay. Create on the spot.
Done, done, done. Okay, so let's talk about why people might be resistant. And I think the obvious one is people are resistant to doing the work, not necessarily because they don't want a better relationship. I think everybody wants a better relationship, right? So let's get that out on the table. But I think they're resistant. Number one, it could be because they're feeling judged. They're feeling condemned. They're feeling belittled. They're feeling disrespected. They're feeling not seen in the effort that they're already making. And I think that level of like persecution, whether it's subtle and subliminal or it's overt, can feel really hard. And it can almost make you feel like, well, screw you. Like, you do the work. There's a lot that's wrong with you. You know? And it can get into this like tit for tat battle that feels like it separates you and it doesn't feel like you're on the same team.
Yeah. Another reason why people might not be doing the work in the way that you want it to is because they see the entire thing differently.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, you know, what you have in your head versus what your partner has in their head can be completely different. And until it is communicated in a way in which your partner can hear it and receive it, you don't get to look down on them. Because many times people will see or be in a relationship and think it's great. Meanwhile, you're dying. And if that's
everything's fine over here.
Yeah, it is, you know, he or she is like, oh, it's great. Like we went on vacation last week, like X, Y, and Z. Things are, you know, the kids are healthy, X, Y, and Z. And then that partner's like, I'm bored and I feel 1,000 miles away from you. Well, both of those are valid. And your job as the sender, as the person who is desiring something different, is not just to communicate in the way that feels good for you, but to communicate in a way in which your partner can receive it, because it's a team sport. You're doing the thing together.
So what that could look like is, let's say I'm the partner that feels distant and there's work. I've been working with my therapist or coach and my partner's over here in la la land thinking everything's great. I could come and say, hey, I've been feeling really distant. And that distance has been making me feel a little disconnected from you. And I don't want that. And I know like everything's so good. Like the kids are healthy. We just went on vacation and like life is good right now. But I don't feel that. And it's probably not a you thing. It's probably a me thing. But I would love to have your support in this and to come along in the journey with me. Would that be cool? Just because I want to make sure we don't get too far apart while I'm in this space.
Yep.
So something like that, right? It invites it as a team sport. It puts the feeling and sensation on me and how I'm feeling about myself, the relationship, whatever it is, versus writing a reality for my partner that may not be true for them.
Let me go to the next one because I think this one will probably be pretty triggering for people, but I want to reveal something specifically to women about men. I believe, this is my personal belief, that women are closer to God than men are. And I think of that for a multitude of reasons, including that women can produce humans and things of that nature.
We are pretty awesome.
You are pretty awesome. That awesomeness comes with fluctuations and ups and downs. And what men will often say is, I feel like I never get there. I feel like she moves the goalposts. She'll say one day, like, I just need you to do this. And then I'll do the thing. And then she's like, yeah, but it wasn't this. And then he'll do that thing. And she'll be like, but it's this. And you missed this. And so there's this huge, now this is where it gets vulnerable. There's this huge inadequacy that men feel.
Yeah.
Because we grow up our whole lives playing team sports where we get points. We get credit. We know if I go do this many levels on this game, I will win the game. If I play basketball in this particular way and score this many points and play good defense, I will win the game. Even if I don't win the game, I understand the rules of the game. And so I can go play again and again and again. And all of us playing understand the rules. Well, because men and women are different species, a man enters into a relationship and he's like, bro, there's no way.
There's no rules. There's no points.
Everything shifts.
What is this game?
Yes. 1 month we're good. The next month she wants a divorce. The next month
the games change every week.
Yes. So ladies, just hear this. Like, if you know you have the beauty and the magic of all that femininity and the hormonal shifts and all the goodness, do your best to understand that a lot of men feel so inadequate on figuring out how to solve for doing the work so that you and him both feel good in the relationship.
I think the inadequacy piece is something I just want to pull out as like a number 3. I think a lot of people avoid the work because of the shame they feel that they don't have it right. They don't know the right way to fight. They don't have the tools. They don't have the capacity. And so there's this like overwhelming shame that comes up of like, I don't want to feel worse about myself. I already feel terrible about myself because I'm failing you. I'm failing myself. I'm failing our family, whatever the story is. And I don't want a third party coming in and being like, oh, by the way, you're failing.
That. And it's so nuanced, right? Going back to this therapist that I hated, he was taught in a particular lineage that you take sides in therapy. And I think this is one of the worst things you could do. When a couple has been together for years and there's all these nuances in their relationship, to say, you know what, I take the side of this person or I take the side of this person. By doing that, you almost double down on the inadequacy. You double down on the, all right, cool. I'm definitely not winning this game, and screw it. There's something so important about teaming up together, setting your partner up to win, period. Men, women, gender non-binary, I don't care who you are, whatever partnership game you're playing in the world, one of your number one jobs and priorities gets to be, if I'm partnering, then let me make it easy. Let me pass off the perfect layup for my person. Yes, be a really good teammate. I swear to God, you will get so much further, especially with men, because we already are living in many ways from a deficit of a world that's saying you're not enough. And especially with Instagram, and everybody's got 30 million and 12 Ferraris.
Or they rented it for the shoot.
Correct, right? But there's this whole like, idea of like regular dudes. I don't know if you've seen these man on the street videos with they interview the women, and there's a lot of these where the women will say, what would it take for you to date a man? And they're like, well, he's got to have like a lot of money and he's got to be able to take care of me. And then the guy on the street will say, well, what's a lot of money? And they're like, well, if he makes anything under 500,000, I'm like, a no.
Wow.
And you should see the comments of men that are like, what? Do you know how many people don't even make 75K?
Right.
Like that excludes the overwhelming majority of men.
Yeah, it's the fantasy standard thing, right? Of like, I have this idea that there's this huge pot of people that are so emotionally intelligent, financially completely independent, don't have to work, could travel all the time, is so in his healthy masculine, so that I could just be
that
in my healthy feminine. And men have their version of this too.
Yes.
Let us not trip.
Yes.
There's a version that men have as well.
There is.
It's like, I want the perfect woman who never complains and loves to cook and wants to take care of the home and is so in her feminine and just wants to have sex with me all the time and celebrates me and acknowledges me. And like, that is not a whole person. Like, maybe in the movies.
Yes.
Maybe in porn or whatever, maybe on social media where we're getting like this much of reality. But I mean, you and I know so many couples behind the scenes that are, big on social media, and people in the relationship space who are big on social media. We know the behind the scenes. And like, if you're human, it's not always pretty and it's not always perfect. And it shouldn't be. Like, life would not be interesting if it was, right?
Yeah.
And so I think there's a piece here too that is important to talk about. The difference between men and women and how we process and how we do the work, I think is really important, because men are oriented to want to fix the problem and find a solution quickly. Therapy in its very nature is kind of, yes, solution focused, but it takes a long time to get there. And so men's work, and I know you could speak more on this, but men's work is primarily focused on getting men in their bodies to process and be with their bodies, to be with themselves, to get right to the source so that they can feel the breakthrough and go, that worked.
Yes.
And the minute they have that win, they got the points, they know how to play the game, like, I'm going to keep doing this because I feel free, I feel alive, I feel inspired again, I feel connected to myself again. And I think women, obviously that's the work I do with women as well, is like getting women in their bodies to get right to the source of it so we can bypass all the stories and all, the languaging and information and get right to the transformation and demonstration so that we go, I actually feel different now and I can bring that different being into a relationship.
Facts. Let me jump on this for a second. A part of being a good teammate, and I know this is a big ask, is understanding the programming that each partner received.
Yeah.
Because we hear often, I want my man to be 6'2", make $3 million, be emotionally mature.
Perfect man package.
Yeah, right. And then, but forget that little boy grew up in a Western world where before he was 5 years old, he had heard probably 30,000 times, big boys don't cry, man up, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, don't be a little F word. Like, there's so much programming that has gone into this man. Then by the time he's 12, 13 years old and he's in a school with other boys who have also had that same programming, he is so far away from that part of himself that by the time he's 24, 34, it is gigantically
the chasm.
Not close.
Yeah.
And yet women will enter that relationship and be like, my partner isn't doing the work because he's not available at all times like I am. And the book Mindset by Carol Dweck, she talks about the study of little boys and little girls on the playground. When little boys get hurt on the playground, as soon as they found out the boy wasn't dead, they'd be like, sub him out, get somebody else in.
Right.
And the game would keep going.
Right.
When little girls got hurt on the playground, the entire game stopped. Everybody goes to her, oh my God, Sissy, what happened to you? Let's get her help. The whole game stops. And it becomes about the little girl and her hurt.
Yeah.
Well, I think they were studying them at 14 years old. that is completely different programming that then grows up. And each one is like, why don't you understand me? Now I'm going to flip to the other side. Men understanding that her whole programming is about being chosen by you.
Being a good woman so we can be picked.
That. So
not damaging at all.
Yes.
Right.
So women, from what I understand, want to feel claimed, want to feel desired, want to feel like pursued and cared for. And a man can skip over and not understand that programming and be like, you're responsible for yourself. Like, figure it out. Why are you always nagging and whining? Why do you care where I am all the time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Again, both of these things are so important because you can't be a good teammate until you understand the programming of how that person was programmed and what you're up against, because you're not up against them. You're up against the programming that they received.
Yeah, and said another way, if I'm playing a game with my husband, I need to know my husband's skill sets and his deficits so that I can be a good teammate and fill in the gaps where necessary.
Boom.
Because otherwise, if I'm expecting him to be a power forward, but I'm the power forward, then like who's on defense? You know? And so
yes,
I think this is another big piece that a lot of us miss, us included, when we were in this phase of feeling like one of us was kind of holding the emotional weight of things, is like we miss what our partners are actually bringing to the game. And oftentimes, especially the couples that we coach and the women and the men that we coach separately that ask this question, when we dig a little deeper, we often see a partner, the one who's quote unquote not doing the work, that's really connected to their joy, that's really connected to their play and their presence and their aliveness and their sense of levity and like really being present to the life that they have and being in gratitude of the life they have.
Yep.
The partner who's often doing the work is often the person that has really high standards for themselves, never feels good enough, has a really hard time celebrating, has a really hard time being in joy. That alone, like your partner could be your greatest teacher.
Facts.
Right there.
Yep. Yeah. What I like to say is that person, the partner who's coming in saying, my partner's not doing the work because they're playing video games and they're happy and they meet up with their friends and watch college football and they go do things and they go celebrate life. That person's asshole is so tight that what they're basically saying is, I want your asshole to be as tight as mine. I need you to stop having as much fun as you're having and do the work.
Don't you know this thing's supposed to be really hard?
Exactly. Now, obviously I'm joking, but not. There's
some truth in that.
So much truth to that. And we've seen it a million times. One of the biggest issues is that we don't have the vocabulary. This is exactly why people, in our containers, and we want to invite all of you, if you do not have a container, a place where you learn and grow and stretch yourself, come play with us. We have a community called Relationship Rewired. It is so dope. There are powerhouse couples in there doing the work, and you get to get the reps in and watch other people get coached and figure out what works and what doesn't work for you. So bridgetolove.com. I just want to say that right here. Put in the coupon code podcast and we'll hook you up.
Yeah. Just another one I want to mention of why people resist the work is because they're overwhelmed. Like there's moments, we had 4 kids in 4 years during COVID, moved state, bought a bunch of houses for our real estate portfolio. We did a lot in like this micro time. In that time, we were still doing the work. But that's a perfect example. Even if you just have one child, as a woman, I just know the overwhelming feeling of like, I can't hold anything else because I'm on my phone reading during breastfeeding about how to take care of this baby and what to do. And like, we're just so overwhelmed and overstimulated. I know when people get new jobs, they have to be really focused. So there might be times in someone's life where it's like, it's not the season to be in a therapist's office for an hour. But again, how we define the work is having that conversation with your partner and saying, hey, babe, I'm really overwhelmed right now. Like, what would feel really good for you to take a step forward in the right direction? because I don't have time to go to this weekend event. I don't have time for a 6-month contract with a therapist. Like, what else could we do that would feel really good for you? Because I want that for you and I don't have the capacity right now. That is the work.
Facts.
Like, that is the work. Meeting your partner, trying to attend to them, trying to hear them out,
Yes.
and trying to create a win-win in that scenario.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to go into the 4 solutions. We talked about a lot of solutions, but we're just going to nail them really quickly. So the first one to this, the whole thing, is curiosity.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we just aren't curious enough about what's really going on with our partners, that it doesn't create spaciousness.
Yeah.
So instead of being so fixed and thinking you know all the answers, get curious about what work they are doing, or get curious about how they are a teacher for you.
Yeah. Thinking about what they're in the demonstration of and the embodiment of that you may not be activated in. Number 2 is you want to share the impact that you're feeling and not an accusation on the person. Like, you're not doing the work. You're wrong. You're bad. You're not as conscious as I am, or emotionally intelligent, or whatever it is, right? Most of you don't say that, but you probably think it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's okay. I've thought it too about my husband, but he's thought it about me too, I'm sure. But really speak to like the impact that you're feeling. And again, I gave an example of this earlier in the podcast, but something like, hey, I'm feeling really distant.
Mm-hmm.
That's impact. I don't want to feel distant. I want to feel close with you. I feel like we're miles apart. Is there something we can do together to really work on bringing us closer, because I want to be close to you? That's all about me. It's all about the impact that this is feeling on me, and not about my partner's shortcomings.
That. Number 3 is, and I love this one, is invite them into something with a small step and then celebrate it.
Mm-hmm.
Example, you say, hey babe, instead of us watching Stranger Things again, let's watch a documentary on X, right? The moment your partner says, yeah, let's do it, you turn to them and you make out with them. You turn to them and you say, thank you so much. That means the world to me. You turn to them, you grab their hand and you say, I love doing life with you.
Mm-hmm.
All of that reinforces. This is a positive reinforcement step that every time your partner, he'll start to, or she'll start to associate, oh my God, every time I do the work with my person, she celebrates it.
Mm-hmm. We're closer.
Acknowledges it.
Yeah.
They have sex with me. Like, what? Cool. I'll do it all the time if this is what it equals. So invite a small step and then celebrate anything they do.
The last one, I just thought of a bonus one that I might do. We'll see. But the last one, number 4, is go first. Yep. Model the behavior you're wanting from your partner. Like, if you want more connection, be more connected to yourself.
Yes.
If you want more play, be more playful. If you want more sex and chemistry, be more in your sex and sensuality for yourself. Like, go first. Be the thing that you're asking your partner for, because that is a demonstration and an invitation and, an inspiration for our partners to go, oh shit, yeah, like let me meet that. Like, that's new, that's different. If we're constantly waiting for our partners to go first, we might be waiting forever.
Mm-hmm.
So that is number 4.
Yeah, you and I, over the years, have operated from, we weaponize this as well, that the only thing ever missing from any situation is what I'm not willing to bring or give.
Yeah.
And so we have been in arguments before and said that to each other. The only thing ever missing is what you're not willing to give. But like, for real, in like truth, oftentimes we know exactly where to go.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of going there, we say, you go first. And if you don't go first and if you don't do it the way I want,
if you're in that, or you're right before it, or you're coming out of it, whatever you are, just know
validating reasons why you're not
more than
my
likely
person,
hold the keys
and I need to go find another person.
A lot of what
or
you
be
desire
alone for the
just
rest of my
by
life.
doing it
and
being it.
That's
and
simply
being
not
it
true.
Joyfully.
There is a lot of mileage.
I can be like,
still
I am
in your
introducing
relationship,
play
more than
here
likely,
now, and
a lot of places you still haven't gone.
playful. Like
we've been together
actually
for almost
make
13
it playful
years,
in your body,
that's been
and
13
then
years.
get
yes,
it
we've
to
been
your
together
partner.
for
And
13
more than
years.
likely,
Yeah.
and there's
in many
probably
ways, I
going
feel
to be
like
a
we're just getting
space for them to
There are
For instance,
layers
and this
and
is funny,
levels
and
and
I hope you guys
things
laugh at
that
this.
we had to go
Alexi
through. Some couples
very sensitive.
have
Last night we were watching something. This happens often.
in the
We
beginning.
were watching something, and
but
I already
every
know.
couple
I know
gets
the
their ass
moments
kicked at some point.
when the music changes.
In many
and the
ways, multiple
sentimental-
times,
Anything
but there's
about
usually
parenting
one
a kid,
big,
I'm just like,
gigantic
hard season.
And so what she'll do is she'll get quiet and she'll start crying, and I'll just lean over and look at her. And she's like, stop, you're messing it up for me. And I do.
I like to have my moment. I like to get emotional at these.
It's so funny and fun because I know she's about to cry. Literally, I could feel it. I'll be looking at her like, she's about to cry right now. And I just turn like this. She'll be going. And we just start laughing. That's a playful, awesome moment that we have. That is an invitation, and there's nothing to it other than just it's a part of our banter.
Yeah. It's how we engage with each other. All right, so I'm gonna do a bonus one, okay, and then we'll close the shop up. So a bonus one is how we relate to the work. So number 5 is maybe changing the name of the work to something else, like maybe we call it aliveness, because isn't that the end goal of all the work we do, is to feel more alive, more connected, more in touch with ourselves and each other? Maybe it's embodiment. It's like, is my partner embodiment? It helps kind of widen the scope, because often we think the work is like reading books and listening to podcasts and going to seminars and da-da-da-da. But maybe it's like being alive in life, right? So is my partner alive? And that can be a really great linguistic shift that can help just widen the playing field a little bit for yourself, first and foremost, to kind of like, take your foot off the gas a little bit on like the intensity of this thing called the work, and like have a little more fun with it. Like let yourself melt into life a little bit more and not take it so seriously. Final thought here is, Esther Perel has a saying that it takes 2 people to co-create an environment of unhealthy patterns that don't work for couples, but it only takes 1 to heal it. And I know that to be true for myself. I know when we were in one of our darkest storms and the moment where we literally thought we were going to get divorced and like weren't going to make it, I was like, okay, I'm just going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on my work, my patterns, the way I'm showing up, the way I'm not showing up for myself, for my partner, for my family, in my work, all places, because I'm the central point of that. If I work on that and I come into a space of integrated wholeness within myself, that woman can then look at the relationship and go, do I choose this? Because until I did the work myself to get into that fullness of who I was, I would be choosing from a deficit. I would be choosing from my pain, from my patterns, from my nervous system that didn't feel safe, and it wouldn't be a truly sovereign choice. So if you're in a place where you feel like you are doing the work and you're really focused on why your partner isn't meeting you there, bring the focus back here. Really focus on yourself. Focus on embodying what you're looking for, going first, modeling that in your relationship, coming into a space of integrated wholeness within yourself, and getting curious about how your partner is showing up, how they are inviting you into deeper levels of yourself, of your own work, of your life. And then, of course, if it's still not working at that point, when you are in your fullness and you've done the work on yourself and you truly are like, I feel like I'm the most me I've ever been, that would be the time to make a choice, to go, okay, I've done the work. I feel really good about who I am. And the me I am doesn't match the person I'm in partnership with. And that's okay. Not every relationship is meant to be a forever relationship, but it's meant to be for that time, that chapter, those lessons, so that we can get to the next stage, whether it's another person or the next stage of the relationship with the same person that you are with.
Okay, beautiful souls. Thank you for riding this beautiful wave with us. If you received any value, please let us know about it by subscribing, leaving a review, leaving comments, and sharing this with somebody. And lastly, and we mention this all the time because it's super important, if you don't have a community, if you don't have people that you do this work with often, please come join us. Do yourself the favor of jumping into our space at thebridgetolove.com. We have a community called Relationship Rewire where Every single month, we do challenges and awesome stuff, and we are coaching and going deep with powerful couples like yourself, where you get to learn and grow for you and through other people. So we'll see you on the other side. Love will find a way. Everything else will find an excuse.